आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम, आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम, आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम, आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम। नगर नगर ये ग्राम और ये गलियारे, भरने इनमें नवजीवन के उजियारे। नगर नगर ये ग्राम और ये गलियारे, भरने इनमें नवजीवन के उजियारे। बार बार हम दोहराते हैं यही कसम, यही कसम, यही कसम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम, आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम, आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम। हमें हटाना घर घर से अंधियारा है, हमें तोड़नी पाखंडों की कारा है। हमें हटाना घर घर से अंधियारा है, हमें तोड़नी पाखंडों की कारा है। सच को कहने वाली चलती रहे कलम, चलती रहे कलम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम, आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम, आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम। कदम मिलाकर नर नारी सब और बढ़े, ज्ञान और विज्ञान नए सोपान चढ़े। कदम मिलाकर नर नारी सब और बढ़े, ज्ञान और विज्ञान नए सोपान चढ़े। देना है संदेश यही हमको हरदम, यही हमको हरदम। आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम, आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम, आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम, आशाओं की किरण जगाने वाले हम, जन जन से संपर्क बढ़ाने वाले हम।
Very good evening, friends. I'm Dr. Harsha. I'm working as Assistant Director in the Telangana state government. I'm very happy to be part of the Public Relations Society of India's PR Mass Communication Orientation program for the students. I'm also very enlightened to listen to all the experts who are being giving their experience and good practices that are being implemented. The pandemic has changed everyone's lifestyle and work style. So today we are here to give you whatever the good practices and whatever experiences and the work which we are doing in the information age, especially in public relations, and how important is public relations to an organization in a brief manner to an about 40 minutes of this session. Public relations has become part of management discipline. For any organization, it is very important to maintain a cordial relationship with the stakeholders. It's not just maintaining the relationship, it is also the exchange of information that is required for the organization to work in an effective manner. The policy decisions that are taken by the management and also the feedback which is essential for a PR person to understand the information requirements of the stakeholders. So this is how the cordial relationship is being maintained between the both the parties. So here are the few slides that you can see. I am going to give a brief background of how the PR has evolved and especially the government information systems. So I have divided the historical background into four parts: the ancient India and how it was in medieval period and modern period and how it is now in the contemporary time. So if I start with, we can't forget as a PRO what was the role of this mythological character sage Narada Muni. So he was the first mythological character that we used to study in public relations, and we used to listen from many stories of um, our ancient times. So his personality that is mentioned in Mahabharata and Ramayana was very crucial. Through his creative tactics, he disseminated rulers, gods and goddesses with the motive of establishing Lok Kalyan. He was basically used to give the kind of information that was required for connecting all these people. So, public relations is the key to maintain a connection between an organization and the public. As long as there is an organization and the public it caters to, the need for public relation will always be there. The origin of public relation in India is not just clearly specified, but it can be said that it was as old as human civilization. So, if we move to the next slide, uh, in the ancient times, the information system which served the rulers and the ruled, and various tools and techniques were different depending on the rulers, but still there was an information system. So, if we see Chandragupta Maurya period, information system has played a key role. Especially, they used to have lot of feedback and spy work used to be done. So it was like one way that was done, and feedbacks were taken on how the ruler implemented the various schemes, whether the people were happy or not. So this kind of information was taken. But basically, the system was used to spy for spying purpose. So you can see the edicts of Ashoka, where it was introduced a visual form of information dissemination. This is basically to give the kings used to deliver their message to the next generations by what kind of work or how they want to picturize the whole kingdom. They used to bring out through the edicts or statues or sculpting through various art forms. So, this was a kind of visual depiction that was done by the previous rulers. So, during medieval period, the system was in place, like it was streamlined. I can say there was both inflow and outflow of the daily happenings. So, especially in the Mughal period, there were two forms of information flow: the secret informers. So this was basically used from the ancient times for the spy work. So in the Akbar or the Mughal kingdom, they have streamlined this system. So they were called Wagya Navis as news reporters and Kufia Navis as secret informers. So these reporters' duty was only to write the report of what happened in the darbar, and any kind of press releases, means what we say now, during that time what the king want to send a message to the public. So this was reported by this Wagya Naviks. Later, this system was adopted by the East India Company, and now we can also find very much relevant in the government PR. Even today, we collect the feedback reports on government policies and programs. So, this is how the system was in Mughal period. And coming to modern period, the first newspaper, it was actually, I should say, there was lot of investigation being done during the modern India period, and especially under the British East India Company rule. So Bengal Gazette, it was the first newspaper which was edited by James Augustus Hickey. So basically, this was due to growth of official information system that was in 1780, and people were also very eager and seeking information, internal information, what is happening in the British administration. So there were many investigative type of reports and news that used to come on Hickey's Gazette, we call. So later on, he was being curtailed and all this. So this was basically when the official information being hidden by the people, means the officials in the British government. So this kind of investigative reports used to develop. So it is always good that we be transparent and try to provide the information whatever is there to the stakeholders, so that there are no suspension kind of or suspicious kind of things, or the public may have lot of doubts on the administration or what is happening and why this is happening. So when such doubts arise, normally there is no cordial relation with the stakeholders and also the management. So at the end of the 18th century, several newspapers were published from Calcutta, Bombay and Madras, and resulted in the need of information by the government, and there was a proper system established to give information to these newspapers. So Lord Canning, Viceroy of India, he established a editor's room, so where which kind of information need to be released, which is not. So depending on the Viceroy's, I should say, a gatekeeping or editor, so editing, he used to release the information. So there was first appointment of press commissioner in 1880, and after that there was lot of developments, lot of newspapers, regional newspapers and national newspapers which were emerging. And in 20th century we find a boom of newspapers, at the same time emergence of film and radio as the media of communication, which was greatly influenced by the government of India. So before independence, during the World War I, information to the newspapers was given by the government of India, and there was lot of, I can say, a defensive publicity which was being established. And 1941 there was setup of publicity boards across the country. So these all the years and at what time, how the development of a proper streamline of information has come down. So you can see in 1990 there is a Central Bureau of Information which started functioning as a link between the government and the press. And in 1939 during the World War, a new organization was established, that is Directorate of Information and Broadcasting. So after independence, the same setup is being converted into Ministry of I&B, Information Broadcasting. So you can see there are broadly three wings: information broadcasting and films wing. Now a separate wing is also developed, that is social media wing. So you can see a lot of sections under which the ministry is working. So you can just have a look at it, and you can browse on the net each wing what are their functions. Like you see the Bureau of Outreach and Communication, they work mostly on field. There are some artists in that, so they try to communicate the message through the art forms. So if you see the Press Council of India, so Press Council of India is majorly to protect the journalists' welfare rights, and it also monitors the complaints from the on the media, or on the journalists, or related to the formulation of guidelines for the newspapers, standard wage system for the journalists. So you can browse how each department works. So registrar of newspapers, this is basically, it registers the newspapers and gives the identity for it, and through proper scrutiny. So you can also find the Broadcasting Foundation. This is basically to see that proper content is being broadcasted through television or radio. This is only to see that the code which is being formed, the program code that should be implemented, and they take the complaints from the audience. If you feel that the content is really hurting some sentiments, or it is not up to the societal norms that you are following, you can always complain to the BCCC, and you can find a scrolling in on the television that if you find the content is not relevant, means not relevant, I can say, not following the norms of the society, or which you feel hurt to the sentiments of the people, or against some concept, then you can complain. So you have other boards, like in the film division, there are a lot of institutes and certification. So you can just browse on the net, you can get detailed information, and it's very interesting to learn what each department does. Uh, Importance underlined in early 19th century means the PR importance. So Thomas Jefferson, he believed that government duty is to furnish citizens with full and correct information. Then in the first prime minister who has laid emphasis on the free flow of information from the government is Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. So I will briefly go about how PR is in government, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of having a in-house PR and giving it to the agency, and briefly about how the PR campaign goes on, and some case studies on crisis communication. With that, it will be more helpful to understand what crisis communication is. So I took out some of the data how Indian media business is. So there are attractive opportunities and a higher rate of investments in media business, and there is lot of demand for the media in the country, and there is a policy support that is required and that's going on. And you know about how the OTT platforms now are being come under the IT, means there was a lot of discussion on information technology intermediary guidelines. So whichever media that is being developed in the country, there needs to be a policy that has to be framed so that it cannot be misused by the miscreants, or some a criminal kind of people. So the information flow should be in a positive way that people use at a large sense, means they should understand what is happening in the country, what and how the reaction should be. And it's not that media goes on giving some information which is not useful to the public, not I can't say not useful, but in what direction the government is communicating to the public. So media should be educative, informative, and entertaining in a positive way. So you can see the media and entertainment industry is growing. The market size has been growing from 20 in past 3 years. So due to lockdown, everyone were on the television sets, trying to find what is happening. You can see what kind of demand has arisen in the media industry. So always the television has larger share of the media, and other platforms are being shared in. These are few statistics that are being presented. Coming to PR agency and in-house. So what a PR agency does. So normally if we have something to be done like giving publicity of a program or a event, we try to hire people from outside. So there are advantages and also disadvantages. Let's see, PR agencies normally is an independent. They have their own employees and more perspective to increase relation with the public, and they are specifically working towards a particular purpose. So they are specialized into specifically into the PR work. But there is also a disadvantage, like the cost is very high, there will be delay in news. Because we are hiring a agency, you should make them understand what you want to communicate. So there are things that what you understand and what you want to convey the message, the PR agency may not be in a same position to understand your message and communicate. There will be some kind of alteration that will be done, so that will be a disadvantage. So if you consider the in-house PR, there is an advantage, means I can say lot of advantages. So background and history of the organization is well known for the in-house PR person, and rapport is developed with the public because a PR for that specific organization is being identified, and he or she will be recognized with that organization, and they think that a lot of credible information is being spread. So people believe in the in-house PR much. So and the response is also real time. So you can see a few advantages and disadvantages which is being presented in this slide. Mm. Then coming to PR campaign. So a campaign is nothing but taking a particular event or a message in series of advertisements or series of messages, that is called a campaign. So this is nothing but PR has to adopt a campaign approach to achieve the organization goals in a scientific manner. So simple definitions that are being given, and multimedia PR campaign is always a uh, what I can say advantageous campaign, because we use lot of media mix, means we choose television, social media. That's what now is happening. We are now into more of multimedia campaigning to reach the target audience. So there are various types of campaigns, that is commercial campaign, advertising campaign, marketing campaign. So you can just understand it from the name itself. So previously there was specifically family planning campaign, so small savings campaign. So these were previously targeted campaigns from the government end. So now you find this COVID-19 campaign. So now the vaccination campaign is going on actually. So the government is trying to promote to have more number of people get vaccinated so that there will be low death rate. So these are different types of campaign. Um, then what is the aim of the campaign? So basically, the campaign should have a proper objective, proper direction, and it should try to persuade and educate them, motivate them. So, to mobilize public opinion towards the ideas and actions that are being implemented, to utilize appropriate media and methods in reaching the target audience. And this should ultimately result in implementation of the program. So there is also difference between advertising campaign and PR campaign. So advertising campaign is basically to advertise about a particular product, for basically to sell a product. But in PR it is not like that. In PR we are trying to communicate a message. There is nothing to sell, but to build up a relationship or to help the people to understand the organization, to build a trust between the organization. That's what a PR campaign. So there should be a proper objective whom we are targeting. So target audience are also very necessary. And what are we going to say? The messages are very important in a PR campaign. So which kind of media? Say for example, we are trying to reach the people in COVID messages, means what kind of precautions should be taken largely in social media. Then how can we reach the people, rural people who are totally disconnected with the social media? So there should be a media mix. That's what the campaign, most of the government campaigns are being done through media mix. Then what is the strategy? How we can reach out the people? Timing, schedule of the messages. So these are the very key elements that are very important in planning for a PR campaign. Then there are also the stages and process of a PR campaign. So first, what is the problem we have to define, then planning and programming and communication, and then evaluation is also very important, so that we will understand what we were trying to communicate is exactly what received by the receiver. If not, the again the problem should be defined, then again plan out, so that communication is reached out in a proper way. So these all planning will help us to understand whether the message is received in a proper way or not. So there are few case studies that I wanted to discuss on the how the PR campaign is going on. So the best example is the COVID messages. So before means when actually the pandemic has started, how the people were under panic. So some people were really under panic and they started leaving their homes, going back to their villages. It's like a lot of mess that was created, means a lot of panic, I should say. So people were unaware what is happening, what the disease is all about, and the government has started taking up awareness campaigns, what the disease is all about, help taking the source as a doctor who can explain in a better way what precautions should be taken. So when the COVID is attacked to a person, so how what is the behavior it should be done? How he should be isolated? So these were the basic kind of information that were not available that time. So it was a lot of panic situation and chaos situation that was created, and I should say the media initially was like not helping exactly the government in disseminating a right message, but a lot of visuals were being shown, like people were mobilizing themselves from one place to another, they were suffering from food, and it would have been better if it was communicated like what actually the disease is, how we can avoid that one to come to our home. So media plays a key role in this. So at the same time, the government should have a health communication channel where it can communicate to the common man. Means especially those who were migrating from one place to another, it was very difficult to reach them. So what kind of media they use? So it was very short time. So how we can reach them? So these were certain kind of challenges that all the state governments have faced. So there was information available on the website. There was lot of information available on the television channels, but still there was not properly targeted. I can say, means very short time, and there were challenges. I could not say that this pandemic has brought health communication streamlined. So we should understand the importance of the health as being a basic communication that is required to the large number of audience who are disconnected with the mediums of communication. So these were the old case studies of Ogilvy and Mathur, how they have taken up Modi's campaign, then Patanjali Ramdev Baba's communication, how it was during election time. Then Crayons Advertising, they have taken up the government publicity program ahead of 19 Lok Sabha. So you can see a lot of PR campaigns that happened to promote digital India, to have digital literacy in the country. Then um, there was a campaign to involve the public to have a selfie pictures on Twitter with their daughters, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao campaign. Then Union government, it has also started a few campaigns on protecting the girl child, and there was a lot of campaign series of messages even today on Swachh Bharat 1, 2. So it was a massive campaign motivating all the people. Then coming to our state government, Raitu Bandhu, this was again taken up. The campaign was so well handled, and it was the program is being implemented by the central government. So this is basically to have a understanding between the government and the farming community, which was facing lot of problems. So what were the details? Means like how much per acre, how much the farmer is receiving. These were the minute details that has to be communicated in a proper way, and this was handled by the state government. The campaign was successful, and Telangana Haritaharam, this was plantation program in a large way, mobilizing each and every individual to the program. Then Shadi Mubarak, this is another scheme by the state government where financially helping the people who are willing to get married. Then KCR Kids, this is a program which was where the delivered mother used to be given with the kit of all the required essentials for the baby. Then everyone knows what she teams is. You can understand what kind of campaign is being done. So coming to crisis communication, what is the role of PR here? So you can find from the pictures itself, there are two visuals that I have placed. So during crisis communication, especially government crisis communication, there is lot of demand and pressure from the news channels on the particular official or the government at large to have give more information or minute details of the incident that has happened. So it is like a role of PR is that they have to put it in a proper direction. So direction for the public means giving them in a proper details without communicating any wrong or misinformation or any kind of. So the government has to give the information. So so that people will have a proper direction, or which will help them to understand what the situation is all about. It's like it should not the information should not lead them into confusion or create panic among the people. So this is especially during crisis situation that PR role is very important. So transparency of information, it's always a double-edged sword. So what kind of information should be given to the public or media, and this will help in sharing the trust with the government and its stakeholders. So provides level playing field, efficient policy making, accountability, and promotes confidence and assurance among the policymakers. So transparency involves challenges, risks, and especially during negotiations in confidence. Um, there is a challenge what kind of information should be shared with the media or the public. So, as Combs, one of the researcher, he has identified different kinds of crisis, that is victim cluster, accidental cluster, and intentional cluster. So, in this, there is a scientific approach that is being given during the crisis, how and what kind of strategy should be implemented, and in the post crisis, how we can evaluate how the situation should be communicated in a proper way. And there is also important to be prepared for the response strategy. So there is always a link between the crisis situation and crisis response. So that's what the Combs tries to discuss, that communicators can predict the severity of the reputation harm. So what kind of messages when you are communicating with the public, the response is also very important, because a PR can have or predict or analyze whether it will be harm or threat for the organization in the future. So the attributions of the stakeholders are the key element in analyzing the situation. So Lawrence Warner, he is a PR consultant. He has given a message action plan which is very important during crisis communication. So he says that the target audience and other elements like what communication techniques we use, responsibilities of them, and schedule commitments, what kind of accountability we are trying to project. So these are certain inputs that should be incorporated in message action plan. So I feel that this is the best model that we can implement as a PR, the Barlow's SMCR model of communication, where he discusses on the source, message, channel, and receiver. And you can see under source, these are very important. What kind of communication skills we have, whether it can be reachable to the target audience or not, whether that skills are sufficient or not. Then what kind of attitude that we are projecting, depending on the situation. Then knowledge, social system, and whether we are into that cultural box or not, means certain kind of messages that when we are trying to give in a situation that should fit to the culture that is being followed by the large number of people. And at the same time, the message, the elements of the message, how we are framing the message, who is communicating the message, these are very important, because ultimately the message which the receiver is taking in, which he is decoding ultimately, should be the same what source wants to communicate. And especially the channel is also very important. As I said, during COVID period, it was very difficult to reach certain group of people who were actually under panic and moving from place to place. So there was no communication for them that government is arranging all the facilities for them, food, water, shelter, everything they are being arranged, but there is no communication with them. So certain things are like the channel is very important to communicate the message, and ultimately the receiver. Of course, the feedback is missing in this, but feedback is essential in any model of communication. So I have few illustrations. Um, so, mob lynching, that was a major problem that is being faced all over the country. There was one video that being viral on the all the social media about kidnapping a child. That was an old video of a CC footage. So later on, this video went viral in a serious way in the state of Telangana, which has led to lot of people attacking the unknown persons in the state. So many incidents that has happened where people, the mob, the villagers used to attack the unknown people who entered their premises, and people were under panic, tension, and they did not even sleep for the whole night. They were guarding their village. So it was like the time when the people should be given confidence. So there is a system, the village policing system was activated. There was lot of interpersonal communication that is being done to make them understand, build the confidence on the state government and the policing system, give them the sense of security that we are there to take care of, and there are CC cameras and all that. So it was like interpersonal communication was more effective in mob lynching to handle this crisis. If you can see lot of advertisements that are being given to the agency, as I said, the difference between the PR agency and in-house agency. So this is what there is miscommunication that happens. So you can see in this visual the photographs which are being shown on transforming Uttar Pradesh. You can see the pictures are from Kolkata. So this was like a lot of miscommunication later on. The media and the opposition, when they tried to ask, so it was like a crisis situation for the government. So whose mistake that is? So when you are giving any doing any campaign, the messages and the pictures communicate a lot. So these things should be taken care of. I'm giving a recent example how this tweet got into a crisis situation kind of. So our honorable minister, he has tweeted that how the health workers are going into the field for vaccination, and he has appreciated the commitment of the health workers. So these two pictures actually he has tweeted. So you find the same pictures are being tweeted by one of the member of parliament from Andhra Pradesh state. So these two were very confusing. So actually, the one of the journalists, he has tweeted the same one of the photograph, saying that it was in Andhra Pradesh, how the vaccination drive was being done. So these were the same pictures tweeted by different people. So the opposition party person, he was trying to say that the photographs and images which are being projected in a wrong way. Then honorable minister is trying to clarify that there was already a published pictures and a news on this. So he has taken up the same thing and tweeted it. So whose mistake is that? You can see in the previous message it was said that it was in Telangana, and here another newspaper is saying that it was in Andhra Pradesh, Vijayanagaram. So this was another photograph from the paper itself, and these people are saying vaccination drive was from Telangana. So later on, the clarification is given that it was taken from, the pictures were taken from a newspaper. So here the clarification part, it's not the honorable minister or someone has to, a general public should not discuss, means they were being trolled and the opposition has taken it as an advantage. The clarification must be given by the newspapers, because there is lot of news material that is pouring in, and there is no proper direction that which paper is carrying which photograph. There is lot of confusion. So this is how the miscommunication happens. Misinformation is being spread to the people. So ultimately, the clarification should be given by all the three newspapers. It's not from the government. So what is happening with the contemporary media and PR? So now the contemporary media, I should say, they are not covering any spot news. The newspaper policy has changed. They are trying to frame many human interest stories. Uh, they are trying to give the information based on a proper research based stories and investigative based. So the spot news is no more being covered and pages are being reduced. The printing deadline is being, uh, I should say, it is advanced. Why? Because the newspaper time in the early morning, the person who is receiving newspapers at the railway stations or bus stations, it has to reach on time. So it's not like it will come at 6 o'clock or somewhere at 7 o'clock. So you can receive paper online. So the deadline is being advanced a lot. So it's not that a PR should just give the press release in a document kind of. They should help the journalist to compile their story by giving a soft copy before time so that they can complete the story in a proper format and present it um, in a way that they want to express. So PR is very important to helping them to reach the deadline. Then there is a need for competitive. There is always a competitive electronic media. So simultaneously, whatever the news which is being published, it is being published in the online websites which are being taken up by the electronic media. So sometimes the messages which are communicated or rolling around on the social media, they are being carried in some of the electronic media websites. So these should be properly communicated by the PR. Proper monitoring should be there. Of course, monitoring is very difficult, especially for the PR person individually to handle. There need to be a system of monitoring and communicating them when there is required with the proper information. Then boom of social media, then data analytics, and electronic media. Basically, they can't wait for the press release till it is being approved. So at least try to provide some points orally so that they can cover the story. So boom of social media, it's like every website, lot of web channels which have come. So the PR can support them with proper information so that they can take up a few stories which will be very helpful for both the parties, stakeholders and also stakeholders and also the public. And coming to data analytics are the key element for any news stories. The PR person, instead of providing just a written content, they can present the content in a table form or a chart form with an analytical information so that the journalist will be it will be helpful for them to cover the story and present the facts in a proper way. Then misinformation and disinformation, here the PR role is very important because information which is being disseminated, it should not be miscommunicated or diverted into another adding certain information. So it should be communicated as it is. So PR should see that the during the process and the published part, he has to communicate properly to the journalist. And to curtail the misinformation, the PR should see that they have understood the information, and he always should mention his contact number, name, so that any doubts are there, the journalist, whoever sees the release, can get back to the PR person.